What's up, guys? Welcome to Chasing Projects. I'm Jeff, and this is your SoCal fishing forecast for Thursday, August 15th. Quick look at our 10-day weather here. Still feels like Groundhog Day. Northwest winds, sunny days, early morning cloud cover, a little bit of dense fog in the morning occasionally. It just kind of depends on the wind situation. And the wind remains the same. Light eddy conditions, completely variable direction, sometimes dead west, sometimes wind from the south. The occasional or the outside waters remain pretty much consistent with 15 to 20 knot winds. We are approaching 3 weeks now of the same pattern. So hopefully this thing breaks up here soon, but as of right now, not seeing much of it. And there's a little bit of a break, maybe mid next week, but again, you can't read this stuff out that far. I can tell you that the marine forecast is pretty much showing the same thing. So the thing I like is like Tuesday, Wednesday, if this holds in here, got a chance, maybe. But currently, our forecast out there is not showing that. So the big issue here is this northwest swell that we have out there, and 7 feet at 8 seconds. It gets as small as 5 feet at 8 seconds. But all in all, that's going to keep all those private boats off the water. Some of the bigger sport boats will still run out here. But the further west you go, you're going to run into this wall. And where that wall is going to be very dependent on the wind direction. So Friday's not a good example, but Thursday, green's probably all right. But it can also depend on the hour too. So, the waves don't always go exactly with the wind. They'll bend and turn, following contours at the bottom of the ocean too. So there's no exact movable wall. It's just going to always be increasing as you head west with this wind situation we got going here. So be prepared. It's not looking like it's going away soon, but it is what it is. Current look at our 3-day water temps here. This dark stuff, I don't believe the 76, but 74 definitely possible on the darker side. This is the 3-day. The 1-day actually looked even darker. So, those winds are coming around when they blow from the south like that. It does hold the water temp and keep it warm. So, but further down south, it's looking a little chilly. And I'm seeing the same thing on the 3-day chart. So, be interesting to see how this plays out here. But as of right now, that's what we got. Chlorophyll. Just a little bit of green water here along the coast. There has been green water here by the Coronados. It's not really on the 3-day because it's getting blocked out, but on the 8-day, you kind of see this little pile of green water here that's still kind of hanging around. But yeah, let's talk about fishing. As of right now, not a whole lot of people up here looking at Channel Islands. The wind's blowing through here, so none of the stuff really on the west or north side is really getting looked at. There was a couple marlin up here on the inside of Anacapa. And I think some of that is just the stuff that's been moving through with the warm water, probably testing the edges here and kind of seeing what's up there bait-wise. So other than that, not anything coming up from this area as far as offshore-wise. St. Nick's and Barber Island have not been looked at least to my knowledge, in quite some time. Wind being a factor, and mainly, this area is mainly getting looked at for offshore fishing, not for island fishing. Catalina still remains pretty much the same. Groundhog Day again. Not a whole lot of action around the island. Occasional yellowtail being found. Trolling, mackerel-colored lures or slow trolling, bigger live baits could get you a fish. But most of those fish, they've seen a lot of things in their lifetime at this island, so they're pretty reluctant to bite. But you never know. Moving down to San Clemente Island, still some occasional fish getting picked up here. It has not been that hot bite that we saw 2 weeks ago. Uh, Seems like the squid is just not really as thick as what it was. So these fish are moving around. Fin bait is going to be your best bet, along with the iron, if you head out this way. Coronados, we still got some yellowtail shown here. Unfortunately, not again as good as like 2 weeks ago. That green water is going to been pushing in and then rolling out, getting pushed in again. So there's still some fish around, but not that hot bite that we saw here a few weeks ago. All right, getting to offshore. Unfortunately, guys, the Inner Banks have just not been the summer that we were hoping for. You know, the El Nino summers that we've had in the past, typically we get a lot of kelp patty fishing in these areas, a lot of bait hanging around, and just not seeing a lot. I mean, there's been some scatterfish that come through, but nothing has been holding for more than a day. If it's seen, usually even the stuff that we saw like along the coast, we'd see it one day, next day it's gone or it's moved 25 miles. The stuff has just had no breaks, never stopped, and really just kind of been dumb luck if you ran across something here and picked something up. There's been a few more patties the last couple days, basically from the 267 to the 289, kind of in this area. There's been a few patties. There's been Dorado seen, some yellowtail. Some of the stuff's really spooked out, so just be careful. It seems like there's been a lot more molas this year, and there's been a lot of jellyfish in the water, so I'm sure that's what they're eating. So watch your props, keep your eyes up, and hopefully we get a little bit better sign here of things to come. But biggest thing here is you got to look at these temperature breaks, right? You got 72-degree water here, getting colder as we head west, and you know we had a good pile of fish that was on this escarpment here between, well, we'll call it the Osborne and the northwest corner of the island. And as you can see, we got 72, 73, so maybe 74-degree water that's pushing this way. So as it does, it pushes the fish further west, unfortunately, further away from everybody with private boats. So anyone that's going to come look at this stuff, although it's not locked on to the escarpment that it was, it's still kind of hanging around in this basin right here. So we'll see what happens. But maybe if these winds start turning a little bit more west, it'll push that warm water back, and it's going to push them back to the 711, and now if you're really lucky, the 499. So let's kind of see how it goes for the rest of the season. But unfortunately, this is a long ways to go in a private boat. So just be prepared if that's something that you're looking at. Switch back to our temperature here. So yeah, this is where the bigger bluefin have been. Right now, a lot of the sport boats have been targeting Tanner and Cortez. This is anchor style plunker bite. You know, this is your 20 to 40 pound fluorocarbon leaders, number 2 hooks, fly line baits. They might get picky at times, so you know, do some back hooks, some belly hooks. Try and hide that hook. Keep it to a small one, like a number 2. The majority of the graded fish is that 20 to 40 pound, with the occasional up to like 70, maybe 80, 100 if you're really lucky. But most of the stuff on the higher spot of the bank is that juvenile fish, and it's been on both banks. Also got a good chance of finding some of those Humgard yellows that always hang out on these banks. They've been around too. A couple of those fish have been getting caught as well. So fishing is not bad. Unfortunately, the big ones are a little bit harder to pick at right now. But it's just that smaller grade stuff, and everything seems to be really far away. So until this temperature or this warmer water gets pushed back, I would not expect to see a good volume of fish anywhere on the inner banks. Like I said, hopefully they get some of this wind to turn a little bit more west and push against the islands here and kind of push the stuff back, and maybe we'll get a second chance at some closer fish. But as of right now, private boaters are very frustrated for the month of August, and probably July as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Below the border, same thing. You got a little chance to see some kelp head action, but this big break of cooler water here. Again, this is 68, 70 degrees. Big difference from this warmer water up here. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll keep our eyes on the wind and hopefully get a better chance to put the wood to them. So that's it for this week, guys. Be safe out there on the water, and as always, we'll see you next week. Cheers. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out our website and online store at chasingprojects.com. And make sure you share the stoke.